What if I told you that the world as we know it runs on a concept so powerful, so deeply embedded in our lives that it dictates our choices, our freedom, and for many, our dreams. This concept is called money, and whether we like it or not, it defines much of who we are and what we do. Money isn't just about wealth, it's about power, influence, survival, and even happiness. But what if I told you that in essence, money is just an agreement, a social construct we all believe in, or just simply value? Hold on. If the concept of money is so important, so deeply intertwined with every part of our lives, why do so few of us truly understand it? In school, we were taught how to solve equations and memorize historical dates, but rarely were we taught how money works, how to manage it, or how to build wealth. Even in our own homes, money was often treated as something to be whispered about, not openly discussed. And so, generation after generation, we've been conditioned, programmed, to ignore the very concept that controls so much of our lives. We're left in a world where money rules, but so many of us don't know how it truly works, why we pursue it, or how it shapes our every decision. Instead, we're left to figure it out on our own. But what if we didn't have to? What if, instead of stumbling through the complexities of money, we could uncover its secrets, understand the mechanisms that drive it, and learn how to harness its power for ourselves? What is money? In its simplest terms, money equals value. This understanding addresses one of the most significant issues in our world today. Throughout history, different forms of money have existed, whether gold, paper currency, or even digital assets. Yet the underlying principle remains the same. Money is a tool we use to measure and exchange value. This notion of money as value is crucial to understanding how it functions in our lives. It shapes economies, societies, and the way people interact with one another. But what exactly makes money valuable? The answer lies in collective agreement. Money holds power because people believe in its value, and that belief is what allows it to circulate and play such a pivotal role in our lives. $1 in the year 2000 holds more purchasing power than it does today, even though the physical currency remains the same. The difference lies in the perceived value over time. In essence, money is a symbol of value. However, this value is largely determined by external factors, not by individual choice. Understanding that money is simply a reflection of value changes the way we think about wealth. This brings us to the key insight. Instead of asking, how can I make more money? We should be asking, how can I create more value? This is the real secret to financial success. Money is simply the byproduct of the value you bring into the world. The more value you create, the more financial rewards you will naturally receive. This shift in mindset is powerful because it removes the mystique around money making. The process of wealth generation is not necessarily about finding new ways to earn money, but rather about discovering new ways to provide value to others. The more value you offer, the more money will flow in your direction. This distinction between value creation and money making highlights the difference between how the wealthy and the poor approach money. The wealthy understand that money follows value. They look for ways to create more value, knowing that the money will come as a result. On the other hand, there's you, constantly chasing money. You're jumping from one money-making scheme to another, looking for quick wins without truly creating value, missing the key point that money is tied to value. Every single penny in circulation today is backed by value that someone, somewhere, has created. whether through time, effort, creativity, or physical labor. Every dollar earned represents a contribution made to the economy and society. Value equals money. But how do we actually create value? Here's the twist. Each of us generates value in some way, through our jobs, time, or skill. But the value we create alone isn't enough to build true wealth. So how do we create more value? The average American earns around $55,000 a year. Now let's assume you could somehow save an unrealistic 50% of that income. Even then, it would take you 36 long years to reach the coveted $1 million mark. And yet, that sum barely scratches the surface. It's less than 1% of the fortune held by the world's wealthiest individuals. So how do they accumulate such unimaginable amounts of wealth? Let's break it down. Money, at its core, is a reflection of value, and value is created over time. Or, to put it another way, time is equal to value, and value is equal to money. So if we all have the same amount of time, 24 hours a day, then how is it that some people seem to generate vastly more wealth? This brings us to Elon Musk. He doesn't have more hours in his day than you. But if you look closer, it's almost as if he's operating on a completely different scale of time. Here's how. Musk has around 100,000 employees across his companies. Now let's do the math. Each of those employees works around an average of 8 hours in a day. But when you multiply that by 100,000, suddenly Musk isn't working with 24 hours. He's working with 800,000 hours. Every single day. That's the secret. The wealthy don't just work harder, they leverage other people's time. Whereas you exchange your hours for a fixed wage, they're multiplying their time exponentially through the labor of others. This is how the game works. While the average person is locked into the grind of a 9-to-5 job, creating a limited amount of value, the wealthy are playing a completely different game. They're leveraging not just their own time, but the time of thousands, or even millions of people. Think about it. With only 24 hours in a day, you can only generate so much value. Your income is capped by your time. But for the wealthy, time is no longer a limitation. It's a resource to be expanded. The more people they employ, the more time they control, and the more wealth they generate. So, what's the takeaway? It's not just about working harder or being smarter. It's about understanding how time and leverage truly work. The rich don't win the game because they're playing it better. They win because they've designed the game to be in their favor. This leads us to another question. How do we multiply out time? When it comes to creating more time, you need to understand the two types of income, active and passive income. Let's start with active income. Simply put, active income is the money you earn in exchange for your time and effort. It's what most of us are familiar with. You work a certain number of hours and in return, you receive a paycheck. Seems simple, right? Think about it. A salary, hourly wages, freelancing gigs, these are all examples of active income. Your doctor, your lawyer, your barista, everyone trading their time for money, locked into a system that rewards only the hours you put in. It's straightforward, but here's the problem. Active income has a ceiling. There are only so many hours in a day, and that means your earning potential is capped. If you want to make more, you have to either work more hours or increase your rate. But both options come at a cost: your time, your energy, and ultimately, your freedom. This is the trap so many of us fall into. We spend our lives in this cycle, working harder, trying to earn more, but always running out of time. And that's exactly how the system is designed. Because as long as you're stuck in the active income game, you're always trading the most valuable resource you have, your time. But there's another way. The wealthy know that true financial freedom lies not in working harder, but in working smarter. And that's where passive income comes in. Passive income is money that you earn without having to actively work for it, at least not after the initial setup. It's income that flows to you whether you're working, sleeping, or relaxing. Sounds like a dream, right? Passive income include rental income from real estate, dividends from investments, royalties from books or online courses, and automated online businesses. Once these systems are in place, they continue to generate income with minimal effort on your part. The beauty of passive income is that it's scalable. While active income is limited by the hours you work, passive income isn't tied to your time. It grows with the systems you've built, and this is what the wealthy understand. They aren't just working for money, they're creating assets that work for them. But here's the best part. Passive income isn't just reserved for the ultra-wealthy. Anyone can start building passive income streams. It requires planning, patience, and a shift in mindset. So now you understand the difference. Active income is limited by the hours you can work. Passive income, on the other hand, unlocks the potential to earn beyond the constraints of time. You're ready to make the shift, to escape the cycle and step into a new way of thinking. But there's one question left. How does this all tie back to the formula we began with? Time equals value. Value equals money. With active income, your time is your currency. Every hour you work, you create value, and that value gets exchanged for money. But the problem is, there's a cap. Your time is finite. No matter how hard you work, you'll always be limited by the number of hours in a day. By shifting to passive income, you align yourself with this truth. You're no longer limited by the hours you can work. You're investing in assets that produce value on their own, breaking free from the constraints of time and allowing your wealth to grow exponentially. Time, value, money. The equation is still the same, but with passive income, you're finally in control of it. And that's the difference between simply surviving and truly thriving.